Hello, and welcome back to Raghav TV for yet another video live stream today. We have Videep in the house. How are you doing, Videep?
It's great. It's Champions League draw night. There's only one feeling of excitement around. I'm quite excited if I haven't said it already.
So, if anyone's new on the channel, Videep, please introduce yourself and what you do at Football Match Daily.
So I'm a 17-year-old Liverpool fan, and we make weekly content on Football Match Daily. We cover all football from the top five leagues of Europe in general. So we do that in video format and on Instagram. We're quite active on our Instagram, and yeah, I think that sums it up. We've got subscribe to us on YouTube. We have quite consistent content up there.
Yes, so I've left that links in the description. Do follow them on Instagram as well. So draws will be starting very shortly in about 10 minutes time. So till then, I'll just share the screen just a second. I'll show you the pods first for the champ. So before moving to the pods, Vidip, your initial thoughts, what would you, anything, anything on the Champions League in general or anything that's happening in football right now?
See, Champions League is a tournament that, because of recent pressure, is moving on to a huge new level, and I don't think it's going the right way, because the original format of the Champions League that we love so much is drastically changing, and I think this would be the last year that we would be seeing the traditional competition going ahead. And I think this is the year that we should savor it the most, and it's going to be very competitive. You see the likes of PSG and Bayern really being consistently such a strong side, and then you've got the four teams from the Premier League that just seem like on another level. So, uh, also not to mention that we really don't know if Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, those guys from the La Liga can really come up with a surprise. We've got the Europa League winners, Villarreal. Even they are punching way above their weight, so it's going to be great to see how they go. Not to mention, then we've got our regular underdogs in Ajax and Atalanta, who always come up with their best fight
Even the
in the
likes of guys like Leipzig as well, who've been doing smart
yeah, Leipzig
business.
as well. Not to mention, we've also got Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, all of the best players in Europe playing this competition. So it's going to be a great one, and I hope we have a few surprises in store for today as well.
Exactly same for me as a Barca fan. I'm more of tensed than excited for Champions League. Especially Champions League hasn't been the kindest to us for the past few seasons now, suffering huge losses in the past few years. So more nervous than excited, and I think I can share the screen now. Just a second.
Not to mention, we're going to get to know our best player for the season also. The UEFA Best Player Award goes out today, and if reports
Yes.
suggest Jorginho is going to be crowned the best player of Europe, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that, to be honest.
So these are the pods which have been placed now. So we have the likes of the league winners in Chelsea, and we have the league winners in Chelsea, Villarreal, Atletico City, Inter, Bayern, Lille, and Sporting in the first pot. And then pot two looks quite strong with Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, United, Paris, Liverpool, Sevilla, Dortmund, all many of the big boys coming in the second pot, and the usual Portos, your Ajax, your Shakhtar's, your Leipzig's in the pot three with Atalanta, and the qualifying clubs in pot four with Milan in pot four. So what do you think? Do you think that many of the big clubs coming in pot two is a big advantage as you avoid some of the big clubs?
I wouldn't say it's as much of an advantage. I'd say because of how last season played out, it was the second consecutive season that the players had to play continuously, that such big clubs had to suffer domestically, leaving them maybe not challenging for their league titles, which meant that they came in their second, third, fourth spots. So, which meant that I think this for a long time now that Pot 2 is actually stronger than Pot 1 if you look at the overall teams there. And that really sets up great draws because now that you can see the likes of Lille and Villarreal in group, in pot one, you can see that they're going to face a lot of competition in pot from teams from pot two. And even if you take a look at pot three, you've got Ajax, Leipzig, Benfica, Atalanta. All of these teams, they tend to make a game out of for the big teams too. Not to mention you've got Milan in pot four. So any group
Yes.
that ends up drawing Zlatan back in Europe, it's going to be mayhem, man.
So that was the pots, and for again interesting because again we can that we there are many interesting matchups that we can see coming up because at today as we are streaming as before we stream we were just talking about this Ronaldo moving to Manchester City. It's like crazy things happening. So if somehow Madrid or Juventus draw Man City, so there are a lot of narratives that can happen in the especially with the kind of pots that we have now. Then you have the
Deep
likes
down,
of
I think
even
we're
uni.
all deep down. I think we're all hoping PSG draw by Barca. I think we're all deep down hoping for that.
No, 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 no. At any, I think we won't draw because we're in the same pot. So that's one lucky thing. At least in the group stages, we won't draw together. So we can wait till the next rounds.
I mean,
And
I think the likes of
think,
Barca and Juventus should consider themselves fortunate that they're even in this draw because I think until the final match day of last season, at least for Juventus, it was really tough whether they would even qualify. Barca maybe had made it clear that they're getting top four a little bit earlier, but Juventus had a hard time qualifying for top four, right?
just on the last day, they made it into the top four. Um, Still looking for any updates. No updates yet so far.
I mean, we all
And what
know
about
how
your
slow these
team?
ceremonies go on.
What about your team, Videep? What are you looking forward to from Liverpool this season, Europe especially?
Uh, See, I mean, we haven't been financially as involved in the transfer window as a few other big clubs, and I think that would be the only thing that would keep Liverpool from maybe going for the win in in the Champions League. I mean, obviously, you'd still go to win the Champions League, but then we all know that Champions League is not an easy competition to win. So maybe if in the group stage we avoid most of the big boys from pot one and get maybe a Sporting or a Los Lille or a Villarreal, maybe I would still settle at Inter if we had the chance. If we draw them from Group A in from Pot A in our group, and that would mean we qualify, right? So I think
Yes,
that's I'm
especially
hoping for that.
Inter, especially they've been weakened by the loss of Lukaku and Hakimi. They are, especially the coach Conte is gone, so it's looking different
They're
for
not the
Inter
same team
again.
from last season, I'd say.
Yes, even though they won the Scudetto last season, they didn't look amazing in European stages, especially in Champions League. They finished last, I guess, in
They
their
were in
group.
a quite difficult group, to be fair.
Yes, yeah.
What
So
about
that's
your
those.
team? What about Barcelona?
So for Barcelona, I would yes again being in Porto, I would so like I would much prefer to face guys like Lille or Sporting against whom we actually stand a chance because if you look at the amount of strengthening that other teams have done around Europe, especially the Premier League clubs like City, they've got Grealish for 100 million, and Chelsea got Lukaku, and other United got Sancho and Varane. So if you look at the signings that these teams have made and we have made, for us especially losing Messi again, it's a big loss for us, irreplaceable. And we've only signed guys like Memphis. Memphis Depay has been amazing till now. Then Aguero is injured again. But again, the problem is we still have Ronald Koeman as our coach, and the same back line, and just a few tweaks. But again, all we can do is hope, and let's wait and see. Again, I would like to avoid the big boys like Bayern, PSG, those kind of
You would
teams.
especially want to
And
avoid Bayern.
yes, for sure.
I mean, however, maybe getting Eric Garcia, a young centre back with foreign experience, shouldn't that maybe stabilize your defense a little bit?
It does actually. It adds a lot of difference, especially considering that we used to play the likes of Umtiti and Longley in our lineup. Adding players like Eric Garcia, especially when you partner him along with PK, who has the experience, it does. But again, for Manchester City, he didn't play in the Champions League much. He played mostly in the domestic leagues. So we'll have to again wait and watch what is going to happen. And yeah, because for us it's going to be a completely new look team, with Messi gone. We'll have Coutinho occupying a central position, then we'll have Depay, Griezmann. So we need, it's the main thing is we need to step up entirely as a team and perform. So, yeah, that's it for Barcelona. We have RCB and Chelsea fan. We have Ankit here who says, "See, still Chelsea are not big boys for Barca." We
Chelsea are the
love being
biggest
underdogs.
boys. They've got the biggest boy up top. How
Yes,
I think Raghav just maybe forgot to mention Chelsea there, but
yeah,
then obviously they are
because
European
Barca.
champions.
Yes, yes. Obviously, you can't take them lightly.
Raghav, Chelsea beat
And
one of
any
your
more
teams in the on the
comments?
weekend, didn't they?
Yes, that team unfortunately isn't in any of the European competitions, so we better avoid that. So he is asking about Inter Milan. Dumfries is good though. Has Dzeko gone there? Yes, Dzeko and Dumfries both have signed for Milan, but still, replacing Hakimi, and it's basically just by getting in players to fill in at those spots. They're not at the same level as maybe the Lukaku, especially. You saw what he did this weekend, and Hakimi, is world class again. So they are decent replacements, I would say, but not at the level of competing for a Champions League title. Your thoughts,
However,
Vidhi?
I think sometimes you just need those players to maybe fill in. Dumfries had a brilliant European campaign in the summer, and I mean, see, Dumfries logically for me was the adequate right back, the replacement uh, Inter needed to fill in for Hakimi, because at the moment I don't really see any other right back apart from Hakimi and Trent up there, and Dumfries might just come in as a close third, who would obviously want to step in, because you have better fullbacks, but then the ones for sale are just Dumfries. So I think Dumfries is a brilliant signing there, and Dzeko maybe a little past his prime, but you need someone
Yes,
up there with Lautaro Martinez. If Lautaro Martinez wants to function this season, this is his chance to I mean get those goals now that Lukaku's not there.
yes. So now the draw has actually started, and it starts with Chelsea's memorable triumph, unfortunately.
Oh,
So
it's just
let
started.
yeah, it's just started. So if you have any questions, guys, do drop it in the chat. We'll answer those questions because initially it's going to take some time till we reach to the main draws. We'll have the awards and all those things. So do drop your questions. One question which came in the start, but we didn't address was this Ronaldo to City. What's your take on this? I think you can start with you.
I mean, as a supporter who supports a team from the Premier League, in general, I'm not happy to see this transfer. But on City's side, they need that clinical striker, and now that Ronaldo is officially converted to a striker, I think this could be their 15 plus goals per season striker. Even though, I mean, we all know that Ronaldo still has it in him, right? And I
Yes,
think deep
definitely.
down, the only reason Ronaldo's considering City being a United man himself is for that European glory. Because looking at the big picture, City, PSG, Bayern, these three teams, and Chelsea, obviously being European champions, these four teams, I would say, are the outright favorites from the beginning to win the league again, or in general, right? And Ronaldo obviously always wants to put his mark on Europe, and he sees City as the place, as the destination. He gets that glory. Uh, I mean, I don't see how he sees that though, because City have just been so unlucky in this competition, and I think Ronaldo to City. I don't want it to happen. It would be logical if it happened. Uh, no, does not make sense to me though.
See, for me, it would be I would say one of the weirdest transfers in football history, if I'm not wrong. Because for Ronaldo, it all started at United from Sporting Lisbon when he moved to United under Alex Ferguson. That was where it all began for Ronaldo, and especially for United fans, he was such a big idol for them, and you can say a United legend for those guys. And in from a United perspective, it would be absolutely shocking if Ronaldo to City happens. But if you look at it from Ronaldo's perspective, when he left Real Madrid on a high. He went for a new challenge at Juventus. He wanted to win the Champions League, but Juventus did not. What can you say? You can say they didn't make the most out of Ronaldo's time at Juventus. They couldn't build a proper team around him, which could challenge for the Champions League. And now I think now that he's 36, 37, coming to the end of his career, Messi moving to PSG, who are Champions League favorites, so he didn't want to be left behind. So in if you look at it from Ronaldo's perspective, I don't think he's wrong, because the only realistic option is either PSG or City. But PSG now again, they've signed Messi just now, and Mbappe may not be staying. So it all depends on that Mbappe transfer for PSG again. And City, they chased Harry Kane, but Harry Kane decided that he's going to stay at Manchester City. He's going to stay at Tottenham. So that means that City still need that one striker. So yes, so Ronaldo is available in the market, so it makes sense for City. So in terms of, yes, as you said, rightly said that in terms of Ronaldo, it makes sense, but for a general fan perspective, it does not make sense.
Those who want to know what's going on at Istanbul right now, the award is being given to Denmark's medic team for what happened during the Euros with the whole Christian Eriksen saga. So the medics are being given an award right now. The
Big up
interviews of the
those
medics ongoing.
Exactly, big up those guys who saved. Actually, even Christian Ayer, the captain, and who saved Ericsson's life. So big up to those
Still gives
guys.
me chills to think about what happened back
Exactly.
then. It was such
Yes.
a scary incident, and I mean, it's great that these people are being appreciated at such a big stage now.
Yes.
But Raghav, about the whole Ronaldo to City thing, I think you summed it up quite well there. From a fan's perspective, it's kind of a really nonsense signing about why it's happening in general. But from Ronaldo's perspective,
Mm.
he's running out of options. He's at the end of his career. If he considers 36 to be an old age for a football player, but he is running out of options. And if realistic, I think he too would prefer to go to PSG. But if Mbappe does take his good old time and to go to Real Madrid and PSG keep, I think they've asked for 220 million for Mbappe now, if I'm not wrong,
Yes,
and
yes.
Real Madrid have offered a second bid. So it's confusing what's going on for Mbappe to Real Madrid too. But if that clears up quicker than Ronaldo to City happens, then Ronaldo goes to PSG, in my opinion.
Yeah. So again, last few like 4 5 days left in the transfer window, and see, literally anything can happen at this point. So this was, I would say, this was one of the craziest transfer window I've ever seen, because Messi leaves. Nobody, every season it is there, but that Messi is going to leave Barca. But this time actually happened and he left. Then Mbappe looking for a move, Ronaldo is looking for a move, Grealish moving. So many things happening. Hmm.
By the
So
way, Raghav,
yes,
congratulations to the 100 subscribers. Might not
thank
seem like
you,
the
thank
biggest
you.
milestone to the
Yes,
average viewer, but I think we all know behind what the kind of effort that goes into
yes.
this. So really, congratulations on that milestone. You're
Thank you,
just
and
getting
get
started
get
there.
get them 200 subscribers as well. They're also very close. They're on 80 to
We're
83
at
subscribers now,
85,
I
I
guess.
think,
Yes, so get them to 100 subscribers as well. We both, I think, started around the same time.
at the same time, around the same time.
Yeah. So we have Rishi, who's a Real Madrid fan, says Ronaldo to PSG, who says no. I think it all depends on the Mbappe transfer. If it goes through sooner, then I think PSG will again PSG will open up as an option for Ronaldo. Mbappe should leave for 220 million. So Yash here is a Barca fan, so
It's
obviously.
quite evident he's a Barca fan.
Yeah, so see, even see, all if he comes, obviously it's going to be problems for us. He's going to rip apart the league, and obviously he's going to perform well. But one thing is that if he comes next summer, he comes for free. But now Real Madrid spend about 220 of their transfer budget, which they have been saving up for four transfer windows now, and
Yeah.
that would mean that they'll have to wait for the center back signing that they're
I
still
mean,
looking.
if you look at history, the last big money signing that came to Real Madrid that was
Hazard.
successful was Cristiano
Huh,
Ronaldo. You've got Eden
definitely.
Hazard after that, who's had a pretty tough time
Flop.
adjusting
Yeah,
to Madrid, and I think Mbappe would face similar problems there too. Uh, I hope Mbappe does not lose his potential, but him going to Real Madrid seems the way it would be. We are living in an alternate
so
reality
Perez
here, right?
controlling the transfer window, nothing new. I think
Perez
you
controlling
haven't.
football in general, man. I have no
Yes.
idea how you just put transfer window there. He's controlling
uh,
football at the moment.
Football. He decides what happens at Super League. I'm surprised that nothing has happened regarding the Super League clubs. I think we'll have to wait for the draws. Some surprise might pop up for the Super League clubs in the draws.
No, I think the last I heard of the Super League was they were working on a new format where it wasn't just an elite group of clubs that had to
Yeah.
participate, and
See,
I
it's
think
it's not. Yeah.
seeing the new Champions League format, I would prefer the better European League format, to be honest. If it
Yeah.
is not if it's not a close competition, then I would be quite happy if the Super League goes through, and if it does not displace the domestic competitions too. That is quite
We
that
have
goes with it.
Kevin Durant in the chat. It's nice to see a basketball player supporting football YouTube channels. we have Ronaldo to Arsenal could be a
Oh
good
yeah, I mean,
backup for
I,
Lacazette.
I I thought of it a couple of times, but then Lacazette's
Uh,
quite irreplaceable at Arsenal, and then Ronaldo would have to be a
he's
bench
the
warmer, and it just doesn't seem to
yes.
add up, especially since Ronaldo wants European football and Arsenal just aren't in European football.
Uh,
So I think that's the only downside. But otherwise, yes, Ronaldo could make a really good backup for Alexander Lacazette. You're not wrong there,
just love
Sachin.
the Arsenal banter, man. So the main draws still haven't started. So if you
I
still have
think
any questions, dude,
there's a good 30 minutes till the draw start, I think.
yeah. So if you still have any questions, do drop them in the comments. We'll keep answering and we'll keep answering them by the time the draws start.
I actually made a mistake and saw one of those Instagram football meme pages that highlight. I mean, that just they're just there for trolling, right? And
Ah,
Liverpool's worst draw could be with Bayern, Ajax, and AC Milan, and that's been living in my head rent free now. I mean, I just cannot get that out of my head. I'm just hoping we do not draw the likes of Ajax, Bayern, and AC Milan. That would be a nightmare of a draw for us. I think United get the same draw too, being in the same pot.
yes.
Uh,
United, Barca, Liverpool all have the same chances of getting those draws
I mean, maybe
because
Ajax always can surprise us because they sell their players every transfer window. They somehow get those replacements, and they're always good to go. And I really admire that about Ajax's academy. That they've always got players who are ready to play and give everything for the badge. And there's not a lot of clubs in Europe or in the world right now who can claim that they do that too. So that's in
yeah.
for football fans in general. That's I think a great achievement what Ajax does with their players and their academy.
Yes. So again, that's one of the things. So let's look at few new teams that have come in, which we don't know much about. Obviously there's a team called Sheriff which has come in. I was just go scrolling through the pots and I just saw this team called Sheriff, and interesting that they have only 20,000 followers on. So there are like on Instagram, and also they're not one of the most famous team. Then we have teams like Malmo and a few teams which were previous Champions League, which have appearances like Club Brugge. Then we have Young Boys and those kind of teams. And out of these teams, who do you think? Obviously, we talked about teams like Ajax and Porto, Leipzig. So out of the spot four that you see, do you see teams like AC Milan making it deeper into the tournament?
AC Milan have been, I mean, they're in pot four, so whatever group they get drawn into, they go in as underdogs because they're going to have three teams that are already seeded better than them according to UEFA coefficients. So whatever happens, whatever the stature of the club, they go in as underdogs. I mean, we know the quality of AC Milan. They are the better Milan team, in my opinion, at the moment. Whatever happened in the Serie A,
Yes,
uh, but see, the clubs like Milan, they're always going to be a trouble for the clubs in pot one because I can definitely see the likes of Milan troubling the City and Chelsea defenders, especially now that they've gone Hakan Kalanjlu and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, obviously, who are leading their ranks. So they're just going to be a menace to play against.
we already have the 8-2 jokes in chat. Thank you for reminding me. We have Dudes Army looking like a Real Madrid fan. And King James, I'm not sure what language is
I
this.
think that's Spanish.
Yeah, so if you can put it in English, it will be helpful for us.
Raghav, you've got foreign comments, man. Congratulations. You've got people from all over the world watching your videos.
Then Wolfsburg will win the Champions League. I mean, you surely are trolling, and
I mean, I'd love to see Wolfsburg winning the Champions League, to be honest. But
yeah, again,
this,
yes, City is still waiting for their chance to win Champions League.
We're calling the likes of City, PSG, Bayern, Chelsea the favorites here, and then Wolfsburg coming out of nowhere winning the Champions
Yes.
League. Eh, I think that's the dream there. That's the dream. I'd be glad if that happens any day of the week.
Yes, and one team I think which is going quite under the radar is, I would say, Sevilla, because if you look at their transfer window, they've done quite some business, but it has gone quite under the radar. They've got the likes of Rafa Mir, who had an excellent Olympics. Rafa Mir, and for Spain, they've got him in from Wolves. Then they've made a few. They've gotten Eric Lamela for Brian Hill, and obviously they're losing Jules Koundé, which is a big loss for them. And they're a team again which could surprise. We saw the game against Dortmund last season where it was quite an open game and it wasn't an easy win for Dortmund going through. So that I from the Spanish side, I would say that Sevilla could be one of the underdog stories.
Not to mention the top of La Liga, 2 games in, 6 points.
Yes, with Eric Lamela as the top scorer again for them.
You
Huh.
never, the football never fails to surprise you. I mean, until last season, you've got the likes. Yao Felix started the season well last season, if I'm not wrong. He was
Yeah.
on top of the Golden Boot at La Liga with Lionel Messi, and now you've got Eric Lamela somehow, uh, who's Golden Boot at La Liga. It's a surprise. This sport is a surprise, and I still
Yes, and the yeah, and you went from Messi and Benzema competing for Golden Boot to Braithwaite, Vinicius, and Eric Lamela competing for the Golden Boot. So not sure, again, not out of the Spanish teams. Again, I'm not sure what to expect. Even from Barca side, with Messi, we've been so poor. So without Messi, I'm really not sure what to expect from the team. And even Real Madrid losing Sergio Ramos and Rafael Varane in the same window and replacing them with just David Alaba is the only one centre back signing that they've made, and that too not sure if he's going to play centre back. So I'm seriously don't know what to expect from the Spanish teams. But let's again, football can surprise us any moment. It has We've seen
No, I
that
mean,
through the
I think
years.
you're
So
underestimating Barcelona a lot because we all knew that in a couple of years Messi had to leave. He'd either had to retire or he'd go back to Argentina. I mean, it had to happen, right? I mean, all I'm saying is it's good that it happened now. Now that you had a lot of backups for him, I mean, under Bartomeu, you made a lot of signings that were disastrous. Coutinho, Antoine
Dembele.
Griezmann, the maybe Dembele. Dembele was a smart signing. He was a winger, a fast winger you needed. It was
Hmm.
just too bad that he didn't work out for you. But the likes of Coutinho and Griezmann, especially, who you signed for such huge deals, but they played similar roles as Messi. Coutinho had a team built around him at Liverpool, and same for Griezmann at Atletico Madrid. But in
Atletico,
a
yes.
team where they're not the central figures, and you expect them to work around another central, a much bigger player than them, and it just puts on a lot of pressure on them to not be playing their maybe a favorable position under a different manager in a different country, in a different city for Griezmann. So I
Yes.
think now the likes of these players should be able to thrive a bit better. And I think now that, I mean, you were always looking to offload Coutinho this summer. I mean, it just didn't happen, but
Hmm.
Coutinho had to leave. But now that he has at least 4 or 5 months to show what he can do, now that he's one of the central figures at the club, most influential in terms of gameplay and playmaking. I think this is where they shine, and I hope they shine because Coutinho was such a gem at Liverpool, and I just
Yes,
hate
I
that
yes, even
his
even for me,
career got derailed.
it's such a sad thing that Coutinho didn't work out so far at Barcelona, because even in the starting days when he came in, his first few games he was amazing. I remember he scored a hat trick when Messi wasn't there. So again, it's such a shame that he had to go out on loan and ultimately score the winning goal against his home club. So again, yes, so disastrous deals, but again, there's still time. Apparently they're looking. He's ready to take a wage cut and stay and prove himself. So now that is one thing that I'm again looking forward to, the likes of Memphis Depay as well, who I would say that he's stepped up his game after coming to Barcelona, especially in the absence of Messi. He's proven to be a very prominent figure in terms of goal scoring and creating. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to, with the Barca stepping up as a team rather than just relying on one player.
Talking
So
about
now,
Real Madrid, Vinicius Junior has actually stepped up his game. He scored, and we've got the comment there. He scored a brilliant goal as for the equalizer in the last game, and I mean, Benzema, we know will always sometime down the line will turn up. He will be scoring most of the goals for Real Madrid if Mbappe, for some reason, does not come to Real Madrid. But till then, if Vinicius gets in those goals, keeps the levels of the morale at the camp high, is what you need right now for Barca and Real Madrid the most. And
we have
so
having
I mean,
more Madrid fans in the
it's
chat
been
as
30 seconds till I start praising Real Madrid, and then we've already got Hala Madrid comments.
we've got like 3 4 uh, your confirmation for Mbappe to Barca
Yeah,
on
a
in
very
our
reliable source here,
source. Yes,
confirming Barca's signing of Mbappe.
here we go as well. So yeah, Madrid again.
I
It's
think they're giving the
interesting.
best keeper award, Raghav. I think they're giving the
Yes.
best keeper award.
Yeah, I think now Schneider. No, it's Essien and Ivanovic are talking now.
Mendy is one of the nominations. They're showing us the nominees right now.
Yeah,
So Mendy, Champions League winner for Chelsea, signed
for
only
the
midway
Chelsea.
through the
Yes.
season. The women's goalkeeper, Barca's Panos,
Yeah, Barca's women team did actually excellent this season. They
they
won
did, yeah.
they went unbeaten the whole season and scoring ridiculous amount of goals, like 126, 127 goals in the league. So here again, Ankit says goalkeeper Mendy. Surely, yes, I think goalkeeper should go
Mendy
to
has won it.
Mendy.
I think they've announced the winners. Mendy has won it,
Oh,
and
so they aren't it's not the
not the nominees. They just show the
yes,
winners.
they're directly announcing the winners. So Mendy for Mendy from Chelsea wins the best goalkeeper award, and Barca's women's keeper wins the best keeper for women's. Yeah, Barca women win everything. Yes, even the best player nominees, all the 3 players are Barca
Yeah, they're
players. So
Barcelona players.
taking inspiration from Messi, Iniesta, Xavi, that season where Ballon d'Or was it?
Raghav, you
Yeah,
can be
Ballon d'Or.
nostalgic all you want. It's not going to happen, man.
Jorginho, best player for
I
sure.
think I think there's a lot
Yes,
of sources that have leaked the fact that Jorginho has won the award, and yeah, Chelsea and Barcelona
yeah,
was
they
the
reached the
Women's
it was
Champions
a
League
finals.
final.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
But Barca did win that game, but Chelsea did have an amazing run in that competition too, as did the men's team.
yeah.
So brilliant. I mean, whoever follows women football there. But talk. I mean, looking at Mendy accepting his award, he had a brilliant season, right? I mean,
Yeah, actually,
uh,
actually, the Mendy, first of all, the signing came out of nowhere.
I
Chelsea
mean,
looking
I
for
think
a
we all knew they were looking for a replacement for
keeper,
Kepa because how
yes.
inconsistent he was, and Mendy came out of nowhere. Uh, I think Ankit's
Yes,
just glad to see there's 2 Chelsea nominees for best player.
yes. So Jorginho deserves after Euros, but Kante before that. Yeah, I would say that. I mean, even Chelsea fans, so few of them, not Ankit, a few of them were giving Kante for Ballon d'Or shouts before France were knocked out. They didn't realize Jorginho also played for Chelsea, but once Italy reached the finals, it was Jorginho for Ballon d'Or.
Jorginho for
So
Ballon d'Or, supposedly. I mean,
yes,
I think the latest comment there, every Porto team wants Lille, and I'm not going to argue because it's the truth. That
exactly. And to
they
some extent, I would say Porto as well. Sporting Lisbon, Sporting Lisbon.
Sporting Lisbon, yeah. I was confused why I would say Porto. They were in the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
knockouts. They were involved in the knockouts.
Yeah, so we've seen Eduardo Mendy from Chelsea receive the best goalkeeper of the season, and Sandro Panos from Barcelona receive the the best women's goalkeeper for the season.
I'm looking at the
And
YouTube,
yes,
this YouTube video, and there's two dislikes for some reason. Guys, what's going on there? Come on, remove those dislikes. There's nothing to dislike here.
if you disagree with our views, you can surely argue with us in the chat and let us
Yeah,
know. But don't dislike the video.
I mean, you could tell us what you don't like. I mean,
Yeah, then we'll look to improve upon it.
the chairman of
Hmm.
UEFA is giving his usual. I mean, this guy
Uh,
speaks so much. This guy talks a lot.
yes.
I mean, I remember looking at all the draws, and he can never stop talking.
Hmm. Just going through the teams, looking if we have missed any team.
I mean, I'm
Madrid,
still
yes.
quite confused about what Sheriff have to offer. But if they turn out to be a surprising underdog team, I'd be so glad that they're part of this campaign. But
Yes.
I think Sheriff is the only team we haven't talked about a lot because, well,
We
I
don't.
think this is one
Yes.
of the first times I'm hearing about them.
Yeah, even I didn't know about them before the draw. Before the draw, I was just discussing about teams that potentially I would like to face, and then I just looking at pot for just a team called Sheriff popped up. So interesting that a team is playing in the Champions League. How's Haaland not even in top three? I think the top three forward is Lewandowski, Haaland, and Mbappe are the nominees. So just check that out, Rishi. The forward nominees is Mbappe, Haaland, and Lewandowski.
For all
Hmm.
those who are not watching the draw, the how the draw goes on is being explained at the moment. How the pots are distributed to groups, and how I mean it's basically the stuff we already know that the two teams from the same club from the same country
Country.
can't be drawn
Uh,
together, stuff like that. Oh yeah, Fuzel brings up a brilliant point there. All of
Group
the teams
Zlatan
Zlatan's played for
PSG.
throughout his career have made it to the Champions League. I think Malmo were one of the main misses, but now that they're there, I think that's all of Zlatan's clubs.
Clubs, yes. So for those who have just joined in the pods, there are four pods basically, with the league winners being in the first pod, then the two, three, second and third finishes respectively in the top league like Madrid, Barca, and then Juventus. And it's also based on UEFA coefficient, which till date I'm not sure how it is calculated, and so
UEFA
Juventus somehow.
coefficients aren't calculated for a team; they're calculated for the entire nation, which is why Liga is not a top
Yeah,
five nation in the Europe coefficients anymore because they had one of their teams lose to a Portuguese side in the qualifiers of the
yes,
European the
Monaco
Champions League
lost.
itself.
Yeah, Monaco lost in the qualifying rounds. So now, yes, as Videep said, they're just explaining how they're going to pick the draws, which we know. And still, if you have any questions Do drop it in the chat. Anything you want us to discuss, because the main draws are still going to take a bit of time. I think 10-15 minutes, I guess.
So,
Then
for whoever wasn't aware, I think there's 8 teams in each pot, and all the teams from pot one are first given one group. Then pot two, whichever team fits into whichever group is then drawn into that group, and so on for group pots three and four. So that's how it goes down. So we go pot wise for to distribute our groups. These are
so
the
those are the
pots
pots
if
for
you
those.
missed them.
If you missed the initial part of the stream, these are the pots, with pot two being again, as Vidhi pointed out earlier, that in the past 2-3 years, pot two has been the interesting pot with a lot of big teams. Then we have the pot one, as I said earlier, the league winners, the Chelsea, then Villarreal, the Europa League winners as well, put in pot one. Atletico Madrid from La Liga winners, Man City, the Premier League winners, Bayern, Lille, Sporting Lisbon, and Inter Milan. Then we have Real Madrid, Barca, Juventus, United, PSG, Videep's team Liverpool, Sevilla, and Dortmund in pot two. Then we have Porto, Ajax, Shakhtar, Leipzig, Salzburg, Benfica, Atlanta, and Zenit in pot three, and Besiktas, Dynamo Kiev, Club Brugge, Young Boys, Milan, Malmo, Wolfsburg, and Sheriff in pot four.
By the way, as things are going right now, they're just introducing all the teams that are going to be part of the draws for the coming season. So we've reached port. They've
Mm,
just finished introducing pot one. So I think they're going to be
yes.
distributing the pot one teams into their respective groups. If I'm not wrong.
Yes, that's how it works, because first they'll pick the team and they'll pick which group they'll go into. Then they'll go to pot two and pick similarly. So anybody in the chat, if you want to ask any questions, not just the draw related, because draws will be starting soon, so we'll answer those
Draws have
questions.
officially started.
And
The first teams being picked out.
yes, as yes,
Man City in Group A.
yes, Man City in Group A, guys. Interesting. I'm just checking if I can share the screen somehow without the video playing.
I mean, there might be a few copyright issues, which is you might have to look into that.
Yes,
Atletico Madrid
but
in
I'll
Group
just
B.
check Twitter. I'll just check Twitter if they're updating it on Twitter. Then I'll share it by Twitter. So as of now, City in Group A, Atletico in Group B till now. I think I'll put it in the chat. City Group
You've got
A,
Sporting Portugal in Group C.
Atleti in Group B, Sporting Lisbon Group C so far.
Inter. You've got Inter in
Inter in
Group
Group
B.
B.
They've been quite disappointing in recent Champions League seasons. I
Inter Milan,
hope they
right?
get better. I have a soft spot for Inter Milan, but they've just not had been
The
lucky.
first of, yeah, they haven't had the luck in terms of draws, and
Bayern Munich in Group B.
Bayern in Group E, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
Bayern in Group E. Bayern. Let's just hope we don't get Bayern. Yeah, so they're doing it on Twitter. So I think I'll share it. I'll share the screen via Twitter, so that will be
okay.
easy to see. So Group
Villarreal.
E, Villarreal in Group F.
Yeah,
Interesting. Obviously, there's no main draws. It's just the segregation. Main draw will start from pot two.
I think most of the teams, most of us are looking forward to watch are in Group Pot 2 too. So
Yes,
Lille are the next team to be
Lille
drawn.
in Group
G.
E, F, G. Yes, Group G is Lille. Even for Lille, Renato Sanchez is out, so it'll be interesting to see how they'll
No, I
do as
mean
well.
they haven't had a positive start to their campaign either. Their manager left, leaving them, joining Nice, and
Yes,
then beating them in Nice. To Chelsea are in Group H.
Chelsea.
So that was Pot 1 done. We
Pot one
had
is done. We have
City. City
City,
start
in, as
heading
you can
Group
see in
A.
the chat, City in Group A, then Atletico in Group B, then we have Sporting in Group C, Inter in Group D, and Bayern in E, Villarreal in F, Lille in Group G, and Chelsea in Group H. So obviously now, pot two teams will want Group
Where I
G.
think we should hold on to Pot 2. I think Ruben Diaz is officially the defender of the season, the best defender. The men's defender is Ruben Diaz.
So that's something. I think Rudiger was also in.
And
Rudiger
the
was
for
one.
PSG, Femini Paredes, the defender Paredes is the women's defender. And I suddenly see Sid
Sid
in the
pops up
chat.
suddenly as we speak about Ruben Diaz. Suddenly
The
pops up
moment
in
we
the
mentioned
chat.
Ruben Diaz, Siddhant as
We have quite an interesting audience because 30 seconds into speaking about Real Madrid, we had about
yeah,
4 or 5 Real Madrid fans pop into the chat, and now as we speak about Ruben Diaz, suddenly Man City fan popping up in the chat. So I think I can share it now with. Is it visible or should I?
yeah, it's visible. It's quite
I
visible.
think I'll zoom in. So the latest is
Who I mean, which other defenders were nominated for the award? I'm not aware.
Ruben. I
Along
think
with
it was
Ruben Diaz,
Diaz, Rudiger, and I'm not sure about the
Thiago
third one.
Silva.
It was Diaz, Rudiger, and there was. I guess I'll have to check again for
To be
that.
honest, Ruben Diaz did deserve it, like Rishi is saying in the chat, in the comments. Ruben Diaz had a brilliant club season, and he
Yes,
did deserve
not
it, in my
the
opinion.
best. Yes, still waiting for pot two to start because this is the one everyone is looking forward to, and
Pot 2 draws coming in. They're introducing the teams from Pot 2. We've got Real Madrid. Uh, they beat Liverpool last season in the knockouts. We've also got Barcelona. Maybe
yes,
a young Barcelona. I mean, Pedri and Ansu Fati are probably going to have to step up, right? I mean,
yes,
uh, we all know what Fati can do on the European stage. We haven't seen Pedri in the Champions League,
yes.
especially.
Champions League,
Uh,
yes,
Waiting to see them. We've also got PSG in pot two, followed by
one
Liverpool.
of the Champions League favorites for this season, PSG.
Sevilla 2 in pot 2. We were just talking about them if you missed them. They're currently on a good run of games. Then Dortmund, they've got a lot of youngsters that I mean most of us are excited by. Likes of
Yes,
Jude Bellingham, we've got Erling Haaland, So I mean, Giorena. I mean, they've got
They
such a good young squad.
they've
I
signed
just
Donny Mallon as well from
they did.
PSV.
I mean, I just hope they're more consistent, not just Haaland but the
Yeah,
entire team,
yeah.
because there's such an exciting team to watch.
Again, players like Royce need to step up, try to
More,
stay
yeah, they need
injury
to be more
free.
consistent. First team to be drawn from pot two, Borussia Dortmund. I think they'd go in Group A.
Dortmund. Oh, again, City Dortmund. Again, if
Yeah,
they go
City
to Group A.
Dortmund. I think, yeah, that's a good game to me. It could be
Yeah,
Group
last.
A.
Yes.
It could be Groups A, B, C, or D. We will be seeing now. Drawn in Group C.
Group C. Interesting,
Group C has
interesting.
Sporting Lisbon. Dortmund
Yeah, so
getting a
that's Dortmund. Dortmund will be happy with that. Dortmund fans
Dortmund
will
would
be
be
happy
quite
with
happy
that.
with that draw. I think Raghav, we were just talking about how Lille and Sporting Lisbon are the two teams we would love to face from
Yes. So one of them's
pot one.
already gone. So,
And yeah, one's gone. Second team to be drawn from pot two is Real Madrid.
oh, Madrid fans, keep your fingers crossed.
Madrid can be drawn into groups A, D, E, G, and H. So
So
I mean,
all are tough
I'd
groups.
love to see a City versus Real Madrid game again. Raghav? Who do you think Real Madrid should draw?
Madrid. So the possible groups are, I guess, A,
A,
D,
A, D, E, G, H.
A, D, G, H. I would like to see, yeah, Inter Milan again. It's
They're
the
drawn
same
into
as
Group
last
D,
season.
by the way. Raghav, Group D,
Group D
Inter
is
Milan.
Inter. Yes, again repeat of last season. Group D. So Inter and Madrid, same with the same matches that we saw last season.
Third team to be drawn, by the way. Liverpool.
Oh,
I'm suddenly so
Liverpool.
nervous. I am so nervous at the moment.
Who's here? He says Inter, Madrid, Shakhtar again, please. Missing Gladbach. Could have been exactly the same group as
Okay, Liverpool
last time.
are in group. Okay, this guy's taking forever to open the ball.
It's ACN, right? The
Group
guy.
B. Group B. What's
Group
Group B?
B.
Atletico. I
Atletico.
am.
It's tricky, because
It's a very tricky fixture.
you
We,
guys have faced Atletico, right?
yeah, I mean, we were knocked out by
Yes, I
Atletico
remember Alvaro
the
Morata
season
praying to the
previous to
fans.
that. We don't have a
Yes.
good history with the Madrid clubs, but maybe if pots 3 and 4 go easy on Group B, we might just come in second.
Yeah, but again, I remember knocking Liverpool out at Anfield. Alvaro Morata knee sliding in front of Anfield fans.
PSG, by the way, the next team to be drawn.
PSG,
I
Messi,
think this is something
zooming in on
most fans
Khalifi
are
now.
looking at. Oh,
Yes.
they're drawn in Group A with Man
Oh my
City.
God. Man City, PSG
Man
in the
City and
same
PSG.
team.
I mean, imagine if Ronaldo to City happens now.
So it's Messi versus Ronaldo if PSG
If the
versus.
Ronaldo to City, I am.
Oh my
The oil
God.
derby is actually happening. Like Fuzel has just said. Oh,
The
Juventus are the
oil.
next team to be drawn.
Yes, again
Yes,
Messi
and
versus Ronaldo.
PSG.
So the chapter isn't over. Chapter isn't over. Just Man City. Now you should go and get Ronaldo, man. Come on, please.
Raghav, you don't. Your primary team isn't a Premier League team. You.
So now it was Juventus that was picked.
Juventus.
We just missed. So let's see which group they're in.
H. Group
SCN man,
H.
do it fast. Yeah, Juventus go in group
Chelsea with
H.
Chelsea.
Chelsea. That's a difficult one for
That's a good team as
Juventus.
well.
Yes,
That's already
Juventus.
such a tricky group for Juventus.
So it's Juventus and Chelsea, right? Already.
Yes, so far.
Man, I'm scared for Barca now. Which are the this?
Barcelona.
Oh man, please,
I think
please,
Bayern and Lille.
please. No, 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 please.
Bayern and Lille.
Yes, please, Lil, please,
I just I am so badly hoping it's Bayern, but I mean it's going to
please.
be Lille, isn't it? I think it's
Not
going to be
Barca,
Lille.
Bayern, please.
It's probably going to be Lille. E Group E.
So he is Lil, right?
Lille, yeah, it is. No,
Ah,
it's Bayern. It's Bayern. It's Bayern.
no, 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 no,
Barca
no.
Bayern. I'm loving this draw.
Barca, Bayern, no, 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 no.
Oh, Raghav, if you didn't know, Bayern scored 12 last night against in the German Super Cup.
Hate two jokes incoming. Ah,
Guys, come on, get those
no.
8-2 spamming in. Get the 8-2 spamming in. Which means, by the way, Sevilla has drawn in Lille's group.
So Sevilla. Nah, man, nah, 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 nah. No, not Bayern, not Bayern.
United,
And
I honestly forgot United was still to be drawn.
so it's United now, right? United in
Yeah,
Lille's
Manchester
group.
United.
They're still going to Europa, man. No, no one
They're
cares
playing
about
Villarreal.
United.
United versus Villarreal once more. Let's
Yes.
go.
So that's group.
That's
What is
part
the
two
group?
all drawn out.
No, no, no. United in which group?
In Villarreal's group. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, just a second. Just give me a second. I'll check that out. Nah, man. Barca and Juventus, no, man. Barca and
Group F Villarreal, by
Bayern.
the way.
Yeah, Group F. United is Group F.
I think we're moving on to the
So it's
midfielders.
Lille and Sevilla in Group G then. You know, they actually these guys will have a serious chance of going deep into the tournament then.
Who?
Group G. Lille and Sevilla.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right there.
So if they can avoid
Oh,
any
Kante has
game
won the award. Jorginho hasn't won
for
the best
oh
midfielder
it's so I think they'll give best midfielder to Kante and they'll give
and best
best
player to
player to
Jorginho, right?
Jorginho. Yes. No,
I don't know how
why
that
did
works
we?
out though. So the best player
You're
can
not
be
the best midfielder in the
that honestly
season, but
makes
you're the
no
best player.
sense. And
Exactly.
Alexia from FC Barca Femini is the
Yes.
women's midfielder.
I
And
think I'll have
you
to.
mentioned how most of the nominees were Barca players for
Yes.
in the women's category. So Alexis
I think I
Putellas,
should. I think I should quit watching men's football and start
yeah,
watching women football full time.
that would help your mental state a lot too. Not gonna
Yes.
lie.
So is there any what? So any English club is left, or I think all of them are done. Liverpool is done, City is done, United is done,
Yeah, I think that.
Chelsea is
Yeah, they're
also
all
done.
drawn out. They're all
Yeah,
drawn out.
man, Bayern's going to be so difficult, man.
I
At
mean,
least let us.
thankfully for you, it's a group stage game and not a knockout stage game.
So exactly the logic of Kante winning best midfielder and Jorginho winning
I
best
think
player makes very little sense.
Sid's as confused as we are about that.
Exactly, it's UEFA, so we can expect anything from them.
Now, to introduce the 8 teams from Pot C, we've got Porto, who made it to the knockouts last season, followed by Ajax, were
Yes, they
always a
knocked
brilliant
out.
team in the Champions League.
They
Shakhtar
knocked out.
Donetsk now.
Yes,
Shakhtar Donetsk are now becoming such regulars in the Champions League, aren't they?
yes. It's good to see these kind of teams.
Yeah, it
Especially
is.
and especially with things like the Super League cropping up. It's so interesting to see like these kind of teams come and get the odd result and upset.
We've got both the Red Bull clubs in pot three too, Salzburg and Leipzig.
Yes,
And we all remember what Angelino did last season with Leipzig, the left back.
yes,
We've got Atlanta too. Oh, pot three is actually such an underrated pot. Uh,
yes,
you've got the likes of Leipzig, Atlanta, Ajax, Porto, Shakhtar too. Shakhtar was
yes.
in the group of death last season. Got a couple of good
But
results there.
still, yes, yeah, they managed
They were
to
just unfortunate to make it to the knockout stage, in my opinion.
Zenit Saint Petersburg. We have then yes, that's spot three. Let's wait and see what is the draws.
First team of pot three to be drawn is let me see this too dramatic. Shakhtar Donetsk.
Shakhtar,
They
Shakhtar.
can be drawn in the first four groups, by the
Yes.
way.
Can we have Shakhtar versus Man City again? Because that's how
I
it
mean,
works,
there's
does
no
it?
point.
Isn't
I
it?
mean, Man City have been consistently drawing Shakhtar Donetsk. If I'm not, I mean,
Yes.
they had them in the 2 seasons before last season. Oh, Shakhtar are eligible to play in all 8 groups, not
Yeah,
just the
because
first
they
4.
they don't. They're the only team
Yeah,
from
they're
Turkey, I
from
guess.
Russia. Russia.
Russia, Spain, Zenit Saint Petersburg, right?
Yeah. Group D.
So Shakhtar is in Group D. So that's oh man, is it the same groups again? Inter, Madrid, and
Inter,
Shakhtar.
Madrid, and Shakhtar. Mönchengladbach didn't qualify this season, so
Yes,
that's a shame. But yeah, that's already the same group as last season.
Group D. Yes. So it's basically just a
Oh yeah, Shakhtar's from Ukraine, by the way. Sid, thank you for pointing
yes.
that out.
Thank you for pointing it out.
Benfica, the
And
second team to be drawn from pot three.
is this stream lagging a bit? If it is, do let me know. I guess it is a lagging a bit.
It could be.
We won Shakhtar last year group. Europa League memes. Yes, we do remember that. I mean, Rishi is asking what is this? Why? I think you should be quite happy with the draw that
I mean, it is a draw, which means
considering
Real Madrid
considering
qualify.
Barca. Yes, considering Man City face PSG and
Group
Barca
E, by the
face
way.
Group E, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she's saying just
Bayern,
wondering.
Barca, Benfica. Let's
And
go.
that's again that's tricky, man.
This
Benfica
is
also.
Benfica's a very, yeah, you're right. Benfica's such a tricky fixture.
I just hope we make it to the round of 16.
Zenit next.
Oh, yes, they beat
Is
you twice.
Yash Chaudhary is a Barca fan, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Man, just let
Uh,
Rishi be there. I mean, Rishi
we
can be
need
there.
views, man.
Rishi.
Come on. So it's Zenit. So for people wondering, this is not my usual setup. I'm still shifting, so just make just a setup for today. So don't think I'm just sitting on the bed. So don't judge me on this.
Zenit Group H, by the way.
Zenit Group X. So it's Chelsea, Juventus, and Zenit.
I think Group 2, I mean, Pot 2 was the one we were looking forward to most. and
Yeah.
we've obviously got only AC Milan to look forward from pot
All
four.
I want, I just hope AC Milan avoid Group E, man.
Leipzig,
If
by the way, Leipzig to be
yes,
drawn next.
Leipzig, the superior Red Bull brand.
Great business by Red Bull, by the way. Getting
Yes, but that will be interesting also because they have lost Upamecano and
yeah, and
Nagelsmann, so it'll be interesting to see how they do.
Konate too, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, I keep forgetting Liverpool did make signings.
Yeah, just the one. Group A,
Group A, so that's City,
Man City, PS.
PSG,
Oh
and
my, this
Leipzig.
is such a
Oh
good
my.
group. It's such a good. I mean, City is finally getting a difficult draw, and I'm so happy about that. City, PSG, and Leipzig. Oh, what a draw! Yeah, Ankit, we just said what a draw. We agree with
So,
you.
so if you guys so Leipzig did lose to PSG in the semi-final, right?
Yeah,
In the Siddhant is saying group of death. Just wait, man. Group E still
I mean,
considering our luck. So
imagine AC Milan getting drawn in Group A. Just imagine. By the way,
yes,
Atlanta is being
that
drawn. Atlanta's been drawn out right now
will come to the comment sections quickly because just
after
at
this draw. Yes, Group F.
Atlanta in Group
F for
F.
Atalanta.
So that's Villarreal,
Villarreal and
United, and
United.
Atlanta. Yes. So as you say, group of death, group A is death group. Then here Ankit makes an interesting point. All B's in Ivanovic picking two of his teams in H, and it's a repeat of 2012 for us playing Juve after winning the Champions League. Interesting point.
So many interesting statistics from Ankit there. I mean, wouldn't even have thought of it to be honest.
See, there's so much story to this in Group A.
Exactly.
City beat PSG in the semi-final. Then last to last year, PSG beat Leipzig in the semi-final.
There's so much
Then you have
history in just recent times. I mean,
exactly even Atletico Liverpool that they
exactly.
have then again
Group G,
Madrid
by the way,
Inter.
Group G draw for Salzburg. Yeah, Lille,
So
Sevilla, and
that
Salzburg. I think that's a tricky group too, by the way. Salzburg, Sevilla, and Salzburg. Did I say Salzburg?
Salzburg
And
in
Lille, yeah.
Group G. Yeah, because any of these team can make it to top two.
Exactly. And FC Porto, by the next team to be drawn. I think they get. I think they are drawn with Liverpool at B, to be honest. Yeah, they are drawn Group B. Atletico, Liverpool. Oh man, this is not
Atletico, Liverpool, and
Porto.
Porto. Porto knocked
Not.
out Juventus last season. So
Yeah, this is
again,
not a draw I'm looking. I mean, this is not a season I'm looking forward to.
bro, you look, imagine my situation. We've lost 8-2 in recent. That's
Ajax in
been
Group
haunting us.
C,
Oh my
along
god.
with Sporting Lisbon and Borussia Dortmund.
Again, that's an open group again for
Yeah, even Group A, B, and C again open groups. Now to the Erling Haaland is the forward of the season.
wow. Lewandowski dumped.
Lewandowski faces so much disrespect, man. France football for the Ballon d'Or first. Now UEFA.
Yes.
I think we all knew that Lewandowski deserved this one. Haaland has been brilliant, but Lewandowski, come on. Lewandowski's had a brilliant of a season. Hermoso, by the
Man
way, the
City have rigged
women's
the
forward of
draws
the
again.
season.
Zidane
Hermoso is
says,
the women's.
yeah, Hermoso. Yeah, that was expected. Hermoso from anyway. All the three were Barca
Yeah.
nominees, and Hermoso winning it.
I
Yes,
love Erling Haaland, but I think Lewandowski. Lewandowski was a clear favorite, man.
yes. So let's come to the chat as people comments are flying in now. Man City have
Yeah,
rigged
we.
the draws again. I mean, it looks like. Milan to A, please. I mean, I would love to see
I would
Milan in
love
Group
that
A.
if it happened.
Yes. Group C, a bit too sad. Yes. Yeah, it
I
doesn't
think
look like the most brightest of groups, but if you look in terms of quality, then
their
yes.
individual abilities of the clubs, yeah.
Yeah. 10 goals, Ankit putting our stats, providing us with the stats. Thank you, Ankit. 10 goals in the Champions League run. So he says Lewandowski deserved it the previous year for sure, though. Yes, kind of agree, kind of disagree, but let again, you can give best midfielder to Kante and best player to Jorginho. So I think, considering that logic, I think yeah, giving it to Haaland, it's not the biggest of.
Haaland is just one the best forward, and he doesn't have a smile on his face. Like
He's just a machine, man, bro.
I, uh, Haaland's such a beast.
Again, next summer he'll be the next transfer
He'll be.
saga.
Imagine if Mbappe does not go this season. You've got Mbappe and Haaland on free next season.
No, I think for Haaland it's 75 million, and Mbappe is on a free. Haaland is release
Yeah,
clause, 75 million release
release
clause.
clause, right? Yeah, it's a release clause.
Yeah. So basically anybody can pay. Yeah, so now they're going through the
I mean,
pot four clubs.
I'm going through the chat, and I think a lot of people are also now saying that even Group B is a group of death. So both the first groups are actually really difficult groups, and I'm very honestly sad to say that my clubs in Group B, uh, it's honestly I want to see what Sheriff have in store for us because
Yes.
there's such an unknown authority for us. I just
And the name is cool as well.
yeah, the name is quite cool, not.
So that's pot four. They've introduced the teams.
The first team
Well,
is being drawn, by the way.
yes.
Young boys to be the first team drawn out.
Well,
Imagine young boys
maybe
playing Manchester United again.
I would love to see that.
United have a quite open group till now, so I would hope Milan go to either of the Manchester
AC
clubs
Milan.
groups. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I got United's group wrong. They have Villarreal and
They
Atlanta.
Villarreal and Atlanta.
They've got a somewhat tricky group. Group
Yes.
F, by the way, for them. Oh,
Yeah, as you
that
predicted.
is United's group.
Yes. So
I predicted that. I
exa-
mean,
amazing prediction that. So it's Villarreal, United, Atlanta, and
that's a
Young
first
Boys in
complete
Group F.
group, right? Group F.
Yes. Yes.
A good group. I
Group F.
mean, young boys have it harsh for them.
Yeah. I just hope United go to Europa League again. The meltdown that United are going to have. First Ronaldo goes to City, then they end up in Europa League after signing apparently the best centre back in the Premier League. So good
Besiktas is
in
the next team that has to be drawn.
yes. Besiktas. Please put them in Group E. Stop talking. Just put them to the.
Group C.
Ah,
Hmm.
Group C again. Ah, man, come on.
I think Dortmund and Ajax have a
Yes.
somewhat open group for them. AC Milan. This is the one we're all
Ah,
waiting for.
please not Group E. Please not Group E.
Oh, okay. They can only be drawn in groups A and B. This is
Group? They can only be drawn in?
groups A and B, which are already group of death.
Yes. Just put them in Group A, man.
Please, group A. I do.
Yes,
Oh, oh,
Sidan Live.
they're in group B.
No. No. Sad life, Videep. With Atletico, Liverpool, Milan, and Porto in Group B.
Oh,
So I'm happy we survived AC Milan. They aren't in Group E.
phew. I cannot.
Take- Uh,
Group
so
B,
you're
man.
lucky you'll get to see Zlatan. Yes, that's one of the things. But obviously,
Zlatan
first
at
thing you'll
Anfield
want
again. It's uh,
next is Wolfsburg.
I'm sorry if I
The
haven't kept up.
pretty
It's hard for me to contact.
yeah, yeah,
Who's for Group G? Group G is a quite dull group. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, yeah. It's
Lost Lille,
Lille.
Sevilla, Salzburg, and now Wolfsburg.
I think you'll. I think that those are the groups that'll be pretty open. Group G and Group
I mean, we
C.
all know that Group G is then going to be potentially the team. The two teams are going to be the underdogs in the knockouts. So
Yes,
that's
for
one
sure.
thing to look out for.
So next is Club Brugge.
Club Brugge. I
So
just
they
know
can't be
somewhere
in A
between
and B.
the announcements of pots 3 and 4, Sheikh Mansour must have called UEFA and just begged them to not give AC Milan in Group A.
Uh, pretty very
Group A,
much
yeah,
possible.
Club Brugge get
Club Brugge. So
Group A.
City get kind of
Unfortunate, a
in.
real
Yes.
unfortunate for Club Brugge, sir. City, PSG, Leipzig, and Bruges in Group A.
So that means I want to see Sheriff in Group E. Imagine Sheriff playing at Camp Nou.
I mean, we are taking it for a laugh, but imagine their fans. They must have been. I mean, imagine them traveling to Camp Nou for a Champions League game. I'm
Yes.
still not sure which country they're from. Malmo, right? They're drawing out Malmo
Yeah,
right now.
next is Malmo.
Group H. That's Chelsea, Juventus, Zenit, and Malmo.
I think Chelsea and Juventus can.
Yeah. We've
That's
got Group
no.
D and E up, and Dynamo Kiev and Sheriff, the two teams to be drawn out.
Yes.
Oh, Dynamo Kiev. You must be hoping that they'd get drawn in Group D, right, Raghav?
Yeah, I just want Sheriff at Camp Nou.
I'm I'm slightly jealous. Sheriff's such a cool team name. Oh, they are in Group E. Oh, you don't get Sheriff by the way. Group E,
Uh,
Group E,
yeah,
which
that was
means
what we were talking
Sheriff goes
about.
to Group D then.
Ah man, Sheriff
Oh, they're
to
from Moldova.
yeah,
That's that's a surprise representation there.
Sheriff
But
in
they've got an
Group D.
unfortunately hard group.
Yeah, so it's Inter, So they basically the Gladbach of Group B.
Yeah, they replaced Gladbach.
Sheriff will come to Bernabeu. That's going to be so iconic, you know. Sheriff to Bernabeu, Sheriff to San Siro as well.
Yeah, San Siro too. Uh, Bernabeu
So
opens the season, right? I mean,
I
it
I
gets
hope
renovated.
I hope we don't have to play in the training grounds.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
still it's
I'm not too
renovation
fond
is
of it.
still going on, I guess.
Uh, so
So
this
he
the
in
groups
Group
are all
B.
drawn out. Group A, by the way, is Man City, PSG, Leipzig, and Club Brugge. I think one of the group of deaths. Then Group B, I think the real group of death. We've got Atletico, Liverpool, Porto, and AC Milan. I'm not looking forward to these games at all. Followed by Group C, it's Sporting, Dortmund, Ajax, and Besiktas. Group D, we've got Inter, Real, Shakhtar, and Sheriff. Raghav, you want to announce the last four groups?
Just a second, I'm opening up on Twitter. I think they should have posted it by now, all the
Yeah, I
groups.
mean, sharing the screen would probably
So
make it easier for everyone.
yeah,
We can
just
probably
give me a
discuss
second.
them.
Yeah, if anybody wants to join, do let me know. Do message me. If you want, I can send you the link. Ma- Uh, Surely they're not finishing.
UEFA Women's Coach of the Year.
It's got to be Barca's coach, obviously.
Yeah, unless they're just giving us the nominees. Yeah, I think he's won it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cortez won it. Deserved, to
Yes.
be honest.
Obviously. Just a second. I'm opening up all the groups. Yeah, got it. If you guys have any questions, again, no need to just drop it in the comments. We'll discuss it because now the official draws are over. So we'll just quickly discuss the groups in short and
After the awards are done, maybe you could give our thoughts on the groups
yeah,
before we end it.
yes. So I think now only the men's coach is left, right?
Men's coach and the best player.
Yes. Best player, I think it's
It's Jorginho, yeah.
yeah.
Men's coach of the year is Thomas Tuchel.
Obviously for winning the Champions League. It's so surprising that he was sacked mid-season by PSG for apparently not having a
I mean,
good record in the
he
league.
does tend to have disagreements with the board, and I mean, I was initially surprised that an owner like Abramovich signed such a vocal coach, but I think it's working out well for him and the club.
Yes.
I was actually hoping Allegri wins it for Italy, but I think
You mean not Allegri,
yeah, I didn't mean Allegri. I'm so sorry.
Mancini. Yeah.
Mancini, yeah, I'm so sorry there. I slipped his tongue. But I think Thomas Tuchel deserved it.
Yes. So best players, I think yeah, that's Jorginho. I think
It's
no
Jorginho.
question about that.
I think it was leaked that it was going to be Jorginho.
Yeah. Just give me a second. I don't know why it's taking time to.
Hermoso
Man
wins Player of the
series.
Year.
Yeah,
Oh no, they're
I'm.
giving the nominees for this one.
There are three. Yeah, for. I think she won the forward, so I think they'll give it to someone else.
such a school sports day thing to do, to be honest.
Man, why is it taking so long to load? Just
I
a
mean, to be
second.
fair, you do have a live stream going on.
Yeah. No, I even the draws, I was just checking it on the phone so that it loads faster. Now on.
Okay, they're taking forever to announce who's going to win the award. And I mean, not to be salty or anything, but then it's going to be the same for the men's thing. So we're actually going to see compilations of Jorginho scoring penalties and Kante
Uh,
maybe nutmegging a few players. Oh, the men's nominees: Kevin De Bruyne, uh, Jorginho, and Kante, and I think we knew that. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a compilation right now, Raghav. If it's still not loading for you.
No, yeah, it is loading now. Bro, I mean, I was looking at stats this season. Busquets' stats is better than Jorginho's in terms of all those passing and defensive stats and stuff.
It's about all the trophies you've won, and
Yeah,
he's literally won everything there is to win.
so basically, it went from a individual award to it went from an individual award to if your team wins everything, you win.
I
Even
mean,
Ballon d'Or, the same thing is happening.
see,
I
a
mean,
couple of
yes,
years ago, we wouldn't even have considered. I mean, until maybe Kevin De Bruyne came into the picture, we wouldn't have even thought of the best player going to a midfielder. But Kevin
yeah,
De
that's
Bruyne changed that for us, and now I think it's slowly coming behind. I think Kante was nominated last year too. So defensive midfielder, I think the centre backs, Van Dijk won it a couple of seasons ago. So I think they're looking at overall performances now rather than just the stats. I think it's the eye test that matters more.
games watched if they give it to Jorginho.
I mean, I'm probably sure we're giving this one to Jorginho, but if Jorginho ends up somehow winning the Ballon d'Or over Messi and
That's
Lewandowski, then
no
then the game
chance
is
he's
washed for
winning that.
sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Oh,
think we're still
Alexia
waiting for
Putellas wins the women's best player.
yes. So I think Barca women have taken all the
I
awards
mean, this
except
one
I
was going to
think
be a
the
Barca women's award anyway.
yeah. Hmm.
Fuzel with such a brilliant comment there. I mean,
Will
they probably
Sevilla try
would.
to
They,
win?
they probably
I
would.
I think Villarreal will try to do that because good evening is their good evening coach. Una Emery, the UEL
They have a
expert.
they have a somewhat straightforward group, but then if they somehow let Atalanta overtake them in terms of quality, then for sure. I'm kind of
Yeah,
shocked that Robin Gosens didn't get a bid this summer
I
because
think Barca we tried to get him, but again we didn't have the cash. Plus we were looking for swap deal, and Atlanta wanted only cash. So
Jorginho
we were
wins
look,
it. By the way,
yeah, obviously penalty
I mean it
compilation.
was.
It was quite
I
expected.
mean, except Chelsea fans, I don't think anyone is quite happy about
See,
Jorginho winning this award.
I see Jorginho is a good player. I wouldn't even say he's world class, but he's a good player. But giving him player of the year and all is a bit too much.
It's a drag. It's a drag. It's an
Yeah.
extreme drag.
So Jorginho wins.
See, I mean, no one wouldn't even be shouting for Jorginho if Italy wouldn't have reached the finals. See, it was the same thing with Conte. He had a good last 4 or 5 months. The Champions League run, that was his crucial form. But then the first 6 months, we really didn't see anyone praising Conte for his defensive performances, him helping out Chelsea. Yes, maybe Lampard is to blame for that, but
Yeah.
I mean, that does not mean he had a brilliant season, right? You might blame Lampard, but he still had a poor first half of the season.
Yeah.
Same with Jorginho. And I really do. I mean, Chelsea winning the Champions League and Italy winning the Euros is the only reason I see Jorginho even being considered for this award.
Yeah. So to sum it up, the individual awards, men's individual awards, Mendy was the best keeper. Ruben Diaz was defender of the year. Midfielder of the year was Kante. Forward of the year was Erling Haaland, and player of the year, of course, Jorginho for Chelsea. And just trying to bring up the groups on the screen.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, if you can, please do it because for me it's taking a long time to load. So until then, if you
Uh,
want to ask anything in the comments, want us to
can
discuss
you see the?
anything
Can
till
you see my screen?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Raghav, if you just take the lead.
Yes, I will. I think the two interesting things. First, Group A again. Man City finally getting a tougher group in terms of because usually we've seen them escape out easily with an easy draw in the groups. So now they really have to face PSG. PSG strengthening with Messi in the side again. That's one thing to remember, and Ronaldo to City looking evident. So Messi versus Ronaldo, the chapter is not yet over. Although every time we think it's going to be the last time, but somehow football surprises us again. And if you would have told me 1 year ago that you're going to see Messi versus Ronaldo with Messi at PSG and Ronaldo at City, I wouldn't believe you for sure. So that's one interesting thing. Plus the storyline of City beating PSG in last year's semi-final, then PSG beating Leipzig. So that's the storyline adds to excellently to the group of death as well. Your thoughts, Videep?
Actually, it's the same, because there's so much recent history among the first three teams, and as you said, I mean, last year, I mean, we had a Barca versus Juventus group, and we were all thinking that this is going to be the last Messi versus Ronaldo we're going to see. Then you tell me that we're going to have City versus PSG in the group stage next season, and we're going to have another Messi versus Ronaldo. I mean, no one would have believed you. I mean, people would have probably called you derailed if you would have thought of that.
Yes.
And it's such a shock that just under 8-10 months some things change so much. And Leipzig, obviously, the dark horses for the top two spots right there. I mean, I think we're undermining Leipzig. We're probably thinking that yeah, they're going to get Europa. It's good, but if Leipzig get one win against a PSG or Man City, then they're serious contenders for the knockouts for the Champions League too, and they're quite capable of doing that. And I'm hoping they do that, and I'm hoping it's Man City. So those
and Club Brugge being the unlucky club here.
they yeah. I mean, in recent times, most teams from Pot 4 tend to be the unlucky teams. I think Milan. I mean, moving on, if you're talking about Group B, I think I
Yeah,
cannot give you predictions of this group because you have Atletico, who are La Liga champions. You have Liverpool, who somewhat look a lot better than last season. Then Porto, who also made it to the knockouts last season, and Milan, who I don't really
on
have
their
something to describe them, but then you just know the attack. They don't have the most stable the most stable defense with even their goalkeeper now not part of the club. But you never know. With in AC Milan, just anything could happen.
So with AC Milan, they're actually the team on the rise now because you're forgetting Fikayo Tomori, who they signed from Chelsea as their centre back options, and Ayer as well had a excellent Euros for Denmark. So again, they're a team on the rise, and you have a leader like Zlatan Ibrahimovic and So, and again, as you said, your team Liverpool, it's going to be extremely difficult because Atletico has strengthened with Rodrigo de Paul. I would say arguably one of the signings of the season. Just 35 million Copa America winner with Argentina, played an instrumental role in the final as well. So adding him to he was one of the players they were missing, and they're looking for strikers as well now with to partner Luis Suarez or Joao Felix. So even they have strengthened. Liverpool, yes, as you said, they haven't been the best in the transfer market, but having your centre backs back is the biggest. I would say it's like a new signing for you this
That's
season.
true. That said, I can't picture Liverpool in the era we're going through. I don't see us competing at Europa. And I would say, I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up high, but I think we have better quality than Atletico and AC to maybe top the group too. We have the potential to do that, but then it's all about all of those competitions coming in. We have the Premier League, which should be our primary focus now that it's such an open league again. Then obviously the domestic competitions we really don't give them too much attention, being Liverpool. But then again, it's just those many games that are added to your fixture calendar. So that I think that would hamper all the progress in most competitions. But otherwise, quality-wise, Liverpool should top the group.
Yeah, as I said, I think that these first two groups will be one of the interesting groups to watch out for. Group C, and let's just quickly go over Group C because not the most interesting of the groups, but again, Dortmund and Ajax will be feasting on it, looking at their draws because they could have been in a tougher draw with tougher teams, but they've been put with Sporting and Besiktas. No disrespect to them as well, but I think they should easily top the group. It'll be between Dortmund and Ajax for the top spot, but I can see both of them easily qualifying for the first two spots.
Dortmund especially would have a huge sigh of relief because we know, seeing them for the past so many years, that they're not the most consistent side, and now they have. I mean, they have that security that maybe even if they when they're not the most consistent side, they have the quality to maybe even go up on goal difference against a side like Sporting Lisbon, even if they somehow come together on the same points. So I think they have that as a security now.
Yeah, and Group D again, half three teams, same as last year's group with Inter, Real, and Shakhtar being in the same group, and with just Sheriff being the new addition, and um, instead of Gladbach, who were there last season. So how do you see this? Because the things have completely changed now. Both of them don't have. They have a different manager. It's Ancelotti at Madrid, and it's Inzaghi at Inter. Inter have lost Hakimi and Lukaku, as we said previously, and Real Madrid losing Varane and Sergio Ramos in the same transfer window. So this again could be an open group if, but again, and Madrid they've been strong in the few previous few games that I've seen in La Liga. So how do you see Group D panning out?
Real Madrid do tend to not turn up in their group games in Champions League. How much ever good they are in the knockouts. So that's the one thing. Maybe Shakhtar, and I'm not sure about Sheriff, but Shakhtar definitely can capitalize upon Real Madrid's uh, maybe fatal point would be their group stage performance. I hope Sheriff pull off a comeback, but I mean they pull off something, but I really do not know about Sheriff. Inter, I think, should top this group despite whatever is happening at the club. I'm talking about the transfers, obviously.
Yeah.
Transfers going out, more importantly.
Now let's move on to Group E, which I'm not willing to discuss at all. It's Bayern, Barca, Benfica, and Dynamo Kiev.
See,
That was
I just want to tell you that things could be a lot worse. You could be in the group of death. You're not, and I think second place should be a great achievement for you. Seeing you're not so confident, but maybe just making it to the knockouts should be a good enough confidence for your club at at the situation they are in right now.
especially, yeah, especially great point that you make. Especially looking at Group A and B, would be lucky to be considered being in Group E because it's just Bayern Munich and maybe a tricky Benfica, but so again, Barca, it's going to be completely different. It's not the same team that faced Bayern last time. It's a different coach. We've discovered extremely talented young players. We've seen Ansu Fati come. Pedri has come in. Then De Jong. Then now Messi's gone. But again, as we pointed out earlier in the stream, likes of Coutinho can thrive now. Then you're adding the likes of Depay and Eric Garcia. So it's again as frightening as it is also interesting to see how this new look team is going to do. So Group F again another narrative. Villarreal who beat Manchester United in the Europa League final last season, where David De Gea missed a penalty, and Atlanta as well. They've been consistently performing well. They've been doing well in Syria, and even in Champions League, they've pulled out excellent results. Your thoughts on Group F, Videep?
You know, Group F is going to be exciting when the most consistent team in Group F to play in the Champions League season in, season out is Atlanta. Atlanta, I think, are playing the third, maybe fourth consecutive season in the Champions League, whereas United and Villarreal are just making what inconsistent appearances. And
Yeah.
Villarreal versus Man United is already a repeat of the Europa League final. And however exciting as that sounds, we're probably not going to be seeing 23, 24 penalties play out. Uh, but Atlanta would want to capitalize on maybe Villarreal because I think United and Atlanta are the teams that look likeliest to go through. Villarreal would want to go for a knockout position, but wouldn't be disappointed after this group result, after the group reveal, if they were to contest in the in the Europa League again.
Yes, again, and Group G not again, just like Group C not being one of the interesting groups, but in terms of qualifying, it can be any of these two teams which qualify because Lille last season League One winners, but they've lost their coach and a few key players. They've lost Sumare, and now Sevilla are building a good team. Salzburg, as usual, can be destructive, and Wolfsburg again from the Bundesliga performing decent in the previous campaign. So what do you expect from Group GVB?
I think Group G is one of the groups that would. I mean, obviously, you look at Group G, and you probably choose any of the two teams to maybe come in the knockouts. If for example, if I say Lille and Sevilla make it to the knockouts, there are already two of the underdogs there, right? Because you look at the rest of the competition, and it's at such a high level that the likes of Sevilla are underdogs, and that just explains Group G for you. I think Sevilla go through easily. Um, it's exciting to see what happens with Lille now. Now that they've had such a drastic start of the season, Salzburg maybe are just starting to get to that European spot that they so want to. I mean, want to make regular appearances of. Whereas Wolfsburg, another German inconsistent side. So for the moment, I'd stick with the first two going through as the first two.
Yeah, I would say the same. And last but not the least, Group H, we have Chelsea, the champions of Europe. Then we have Zenit, Juventus, and Malmo to finish off this draw. I think it's pretty clear this group. I think Chelsea and Juventus most likely to go through as the league and as a group leaders. With I think Chelsea are going to finish first easily. Your thoughts, Videep?
I think Juventus finished first, followed by Chelsea.
Oh, oh,
Because
interesting, interesting.
Chelsea, seeing this group draw, I think Chelsea would, for the group stage, prioritize the Premier League. Then, as we progress throughout the competition, as we reach the round of 16, maybe the quarterfinals, that's when Chelsea really start to turn up in the Champions League games, as they did the previous season, the one they won, and that's why I think they let go, being group leaders. But obviously, being group leader comes with its perks. But I think being Chelsea, you can afford to give that top spot to Juventus, while seeing they have such tough competition in in the Premier League itself.
Yeah, that's a good point you make because that's one thing that Chelsea are yet to win. They won the Champions League last season, and it's been some time that they've won the Premier League. So they'll be looking to focus and on winning the Premier League, at least initially focusing more on the Premier League than the Champions League. So I think that's it for the groups. Your final thoughts. What would you like to say to conclude
Uh,
this live
and
stream?
I was excited before we started. I'm honestly afraid now. This was not the group I was hoping for, but see, they used to call us mentality monsters at one point. I mean, just a couple of years ago. I didn't like that nickname, but now we have to live up to it. We have to show that we are worth being, quite recent champions of the tournament, and we have to show that well, we deserved that one, and it was. And we have a lot to prove now that we barely made it to the top for itself last season. So now
Yeah.
that we're here, we should really show that we're here to make a point. And if not us, it would have been Leicester. Would you have called it a group of death if Leicester would have made it? You
No,
wouldn't have,
no.
right? So
Yeah.
uh, it's an exciting group. I'm hoping we go through. I'm quite sure we'd go through, but it's still it's quite a scary draw. One I wasn't expecting.
Yes. And for me as well, same. Not expecting to face Bayern this early on in the competition. And it's both scary and interesting as well because again, as I said earlier, it's not the same team. We don't have Messi, and even Bayern aren't at their best. So it'll be interesting to watch out for. And Messi versus Ronaldo may be happening with Ronaldo to City rumors. Still waiting 5 days left in the transfer window. Let's wait and see what happens. And thank you, Videep, for coming on yet again, supporting for the second consecutive live stream. And do subscribe to him as well at Football Match Daily. They're also on close to 85 subscribers now. Get them 200 subscribers as well. Regular content, both of us. And thank you for watching the video and peace.
All of our channels are going to be consistently covering all of these competitions throughout the year. So make sure you subscribe, guys. You're going to miss out on a lot of content if you don't. So I don't mean to make you feel bad about it, but you could just subscribe.
Yes. One last comment. Yes, bye bye. See you soon. I hope I'll finish my setup very soon and come to the proper setup and see you
Once again,
guys.
congratulations for your 100
Thank you.
subscribers milestone, Raghav.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, that was tiring.